Robert Baratheon was meant to die. A hunting accident, a drunken mistake, the perfect end to a reckless king. The Seven Kingdoms were already moving forward. Cersei had planned for it. Joffrey was waiting for it. The war was ready to begin. But what if it didn't happen that way? What if the puppy milk never touched his lips? What if Ned Stark saw the trap before it closed? In this world, the stag still stands. He returns to the Red Keep, wounded but unbroken. Joffrey sits upon the throne, a crown on his head, smirking, certain of his victory. Until Robert speaks.
You think you're king, bastard? You are no son of mine.
The war should have begun with his death. Instead, it begins with his return. Before we dive into this alternate history, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps us create more deep dive content like this and bring you the best what-if scenarios in Westeros. So, if you love exploring the untold stories of Game of Thrones, hit that button and let's begin. Robert has returned from the hunt, carried through the gates of the Red Keep, his body broken, his breath shallow. Blood stains his tunic, his face is pale, but his grip is still strong. He is alive. But the Red Keep moves as if he is already dead. The halls are quieter, filled with whispers that scatter when footsteps approach. The servants avert their eyes. They all believe the same lie, that the king will not wake. Cersei Lannister does not wait. She is already acting as if the throne belongs to her son. But Ned Stark sees the truth. He has seen the game for what it is, and he refuses to play by their rules. He limps through the castle, his ribs aching where Jaime Lannister's soldiers harmed him. The Kingslayer is gone now, called back to his father. But his attack was never meant to kill, just to remind Ned who holds the power. That power will not last. Before dawn, Ned moves. The first to fall is Pycelle. The old man shuffles through Robert's chambers, carrying another dose of puppy milk. He never sees Ned coming. Moments later, he is dragged from the room, shouting of betrayal. He is not wrong. Robert's new maester arrives before sunrise, one chosen by Ned, one who does not serve the lion. The next move is quiet, subtle. Gold cloaks, one by one, are bought. Some pledge their loyalty willingly. Others are less enthusiastic. But in the end, gold wins where honor cannot. Messengers are sent. Word must reach Dragonstone. Stannis must know what has happened. The true heir must be ready. But there is one more piece to move. Littlefinger comes to him at dusk, a sly smile, a knowing glance.
You should not be playing this game, Lord Stark.
Ned does not answer.
I could make this easy for you. 100 swords all waiting for your word. You could take the Red Keep before Robert even rises from his bed.
Ned's hands tighten into fists.
I came here to protect my king, not become a usurper.
Littlefinger only smiles. He was never expecting Ned to say yes. But there is no time to dwell on the Master of Coin. Ned has more pressing matters. He moves through the Red Keep, passing through darkened corridors, avoiding watchful eyes. In the dead of night, he finds his daughters. Arya does not understand why she must leave. She fights, she argues, but there is no time for explanations. By morning, she is gone, smuggled out of the castle, lost within the sprawl of King's Landing. Sansa remains, still blind to the danger. She does not know the city is a cage, nor that the Queen is already tightening the lock. For now, she is beyond his reach. Elsewhere, far from the Red Keep, another piece has moved. Tyrion Lannister has been released from the Vale. He does not return to King's Landing. He rides west, back to his father, back to his brother, back to the war that is coming. And in the depths of the Red Keep, in halls where no one dares whisper his name, Varys is already working. Ned has given him a single command. Let the city believe the king is dying. Let them prepare for a world without Robert. Let them act before they realize the truth. The pieces are moving. The game is set. But soon, the storm will break. And when it does, no one will be safe. If we get 80 likes on this video, we'll make a part 2. Robert Baratheon lies in his chambers, his body weakened, his mind dulled by pain. The king who once swung a warhammer like it weighed nothing now struggles to lift a cup of wine. But even in his state, his eyes are sharp. He sees the tension in Ned Stark's face before a word is spoken.
You look like a man with something to say, so say it.
Ned does not hesitate.
The boy is not yours.
Silence. The cup stops halfway to Robert's lips. He does not speak. He does not move. He only stares at Ned, as if waiting for him to laugh, to take it back. But Ned Stark does not jest. Robert exhales through his nose, slow, controlled. Then, a bitter chuckle.
Of course he is. He has my name. He sits beneath my banners. That makes him mine.
But Ned does not waver.
He has your name, but not your blood.
And then, Robert understands. The color drains from his face. His fingers tighten around the cup until the wood groans. He tries to stand, but his body betrays him, pain shooting through his ribs, forcing him back down. His breath is ragged. His jaw clenches.
How long have I been blind?
You did the best you could.
Did I? I let them whisper in my ear. I let her lie beside me, smiling, knowing the whole time, and I did nothing.
His gaze hardens. His voice lowers to something dark, dangerous.
Tell me everything.
And so, Ned does. Jon Arryn's search, the bastard boys in Flea Bottom, each of them bearing his face, his black hair. The golden-haired children in the Red Keep who look nothing like him. Cersei's whispered confession beneath the Godswood. By the time Ned finishes, Robert is gripping the sheets like they are the haft of a warhammer.
She played me for a fool.
Ned does not answer. Robert's breath comes fast, heavy. His knuckles are white, his face is red, and then the rage settles. Not like wildfire. No, wildfire is bright, reckless. This is something worse. Cold rage. A storm in the distance, rolling closer with each passing second. Then Robert looks at him, his old friend, the only man in the world he still trusts.
What would you have me do, Ned?
And in that moment, Robert Baratheon is no longer a king. He's just a man, betrayed, asking his oldest friend for the truth. Ned meets his gaze, unflinching.
Justice.
The doors of the throne room swing open. Ned Stark enters. The great hall is silent, the air thick with expectation. On the Iron Throne sits Joffrey Baratheon. A golden crown rests upon his head, a mockery of the power he claims. At his side, Cersei Lannister smiles, serene, untouchable. Ned halts at the center of the room, his voice carrying across the hall.
What is the meaning of this? The king is still alive.
Murmurs ripple through the gathered lords and knights. This was not how today was supposed to go. Cersei does not flinch. She rises gracefully, tilting her head as if amused by a child's protest.
My dear king has been badly hurt. It is only a matter of time. We are ensuring a peaceful transition to the rightful heir.
Ned's jaw tightens.
He is not the rightful heir.
Silence. The words drop into the room like a stone into deep water. The ripples spread. Tension coils in the air. The Kingsguard shift, hands ghosting over their swords. The gold cloaks glance between themselves, uncertain. Lannister men move first. Before Ned can react, hands seize his arms, blades press against his back. Cersei watches, still smiling. The lioness has her prey. And then, the throne room doors slam open. Gasps, murmurs, shock. Robert Baratheon has returned. Cersei's smile vanishes. Joffrey freezes, his fingers tightening around the armrest of the Iron Throne. This was not supposed to happen. The hall is dead silent. Robert moves forward, slow, deliberate. His body is battered, his skin pale from blood loss. But his eyes burn. Each step echoes through the chamber, heavy as a war drum. Joffrey looks to his mother, panicked now. Cersei swallows, her mind racing, but there is no plan for this, no move prepared. Robert reaches the foot of the throne. Joffrey's mouth opens, but the words never leave his lips.
You think you're king, bastard? You are no son of mine.
Robert's voice booms through the hall. Joffrey flinches. Cersei blanches. The illusion is shattered. The boy sits frozen. Robert leans closer, his breath ragged, his strength barely holding, but his fury keeping him upright.
Get the hell out of my throne!
Joffrey jerks back as if struck. His golden crown, a stolen thing, a mockery of kingship, gleams atop his head. The court stirs. The weight of the truth crushes the room. The gold cloaks hesitate. The Kingsguard glance at one another. Lannister men shift uneasily, waiting for orders that will never come. The king lives. Robert's gaze flicks to the men holding Ned.
Release him!
A long moment. Then, the sound of steel hitting stone. The gold cloaks drop their weapons first. The Lannister guards hesitate, then follow. Ned is free. Cersei's breath quickens. Her control is slipping through her fingers like sand. And then, another voice. Renly Baratheon steps forward, announcing that he has sent word to Dragonstone and Stannis is on his way. Cersei turns to him, her face a mask of fury. Too late. Guards move. Cersei Lannister is seized. Joffrey thrashes. His voice cracks. Nobody listens. The two younger children, Marcella and Tommen, are led away gently. The Iron Throne sits empty. For the first time in years, it belongs to Robert alone. But he does not sit. He watches as Cersei and her son are dragged from the hall. He exhales. The lion has been caged. But the battle is only beginning. The king has returned, but Westeros is about to burn. If you were in Robert's place, what would you do next? Tell us below. The Red Keep is a war camp now. Word spreads. Tywin Lannister is on the move. His forces burn the Riverlands. His banners march unchecked. Behind him, Sir Gregor Clegane leaves nothing but ruin. Robert Baratheon sits on his throne, breathing hard. His wounds still ache, his body still weak, but his fury unshaken.
It's time to end House Lannister.
The lords look to Ned Stark. Robert grips the arms of his throne as if trying to force his body to stand. Ned sees it. The king wants to ride.
You need to heal, my friend. Let us fight this war for you.
The words land heavy. Robert wants to refuse. Wants to grip his warhammer, mount his horse, crush his enemies himself. But he knows. Slowly, he nods.
The war is yours, Stark.
The moment the words are spoken, the war begins. Messengers scatter, horns sound, the banners are called. But before Ned can leave, the Baratheon brothers erupt. Stannis steps forward, his face carved from stone.
I should lead.
Renly laughs, sharp and cutting.
You should step aside, brother.
The tension crackles like a storm. Robert slams his fist against the throne.
Enough!
Silence.
You will not fight over this. Ned leads the army. That is the end of it.
The brothers glare, but Robert has spoken. And then, Stannis takes another step forward. His voice drops, cold and firm.
Name me your heir.
The room goes still. Robert's jaw tightens. He looks at Stannis, at Renly, at Ned. And then, he shakes his head.
Not now.
A long pause. Stannis says nothing, but the silence says everything. The council is dismissed. The banners are raised. The war has begun. The banners of Baratheon and Tully ride west. Steel clashes in the wind. Thousands of men marching toward war. Robert's loyal forces from the Stormlands and the Riverlands move as one. At their head, Ned Stark, Stannis, and Renly. Ahead of them, the Riverlands are bleeding. Tywin Lannister's army leaves a trail of fire and ruin, but he is no fool. He knows they are coming, and he is waiting. The march is relentless. Day after day, the road stretches on, the air thick with the promise of battle. Then, the first horn sounds. The North has arrived. Near the banks of the Trident, the direwolf banners stand tall. Ned Stark rides ahead. He sees them before they see him. Thousands of Northmen, hardened, disciplined, ready for war. At their head, a veteran of the North, Great John Umber, his voice a rolling thunder. Beside him, Roose Bolton, cold and unreadable. And among them, Robb Stark. The boy left behind in Winterfell is no longer a boy. Robb rides at the front, but he does not lead. Not yet. Ned swings down from his horse.
We ride when you command, Stark.
And beside him, Robb dismounts, standing firm. His father's eyes, his mother's resolve. Ned nods. A slow exhale.
You've done well, son.
Behind them, the banners snap in the wind. The stag and the direwolf. Together at last. But ahead, war is waiting. The Riverlands are burning, villages razed, banners of House Lannister flying over fields slick with blood. The war has come to the Tullylands, and Tywin Lannister is making them suffer. His forces encircle Riverrun, cutting off supplies, waiting for the castle to starve. But war is never patient. From the north, east, and south, the combined might of the Starks, the Tullys, and the Baratheons descends upon the Lannister host. Tywin expected one army. He got 3. The first charge comes with the morning sun. From the north, Great John Umber leads the vanguard, his war cry echoing through the valley as the northern forces smash into the Lannister lines. From the east, the Tully banners rise, Riverrun's knights breaking through the siege from within. From the south, the Baratheons strike. Stannis, cold and relentless. Renly, bold and reckless. And in the midst of it all, Jaime Lannister fights like a demon. His sword cuts through men like paper, his golden armor flashing through the carnage. No one can stop him, not a single man. But then, a woman steps forward. Brienne of Tarth, towering, unshaken, her great sword gleaming in the morning sun. Jaime laughs.
Not my usual type, but I suppose we can dance.
They clash. Jaime is fast, faster than anyone she has ever faced. His strikes come like lightning. But Brienne is a storm. Her blade meets his, strike for strike. The ground shakes beneath them. Jaime presses forward, testing her defenses, and for the first time in years, he finds none. A blade flashes, a twist of steel. Jaime stumbles, and in that single moment, Brienne takes him down. The Kingslayer falls, and the Lannister army watches in shock. But the battle is not over. Tywin Lannister does not fight losing battles. He sees the tide turning against him, his men falling, his banners scattering, and so he pulls back. The Lannister host begins to retreat west, trying to regroup beyond the Trident. But the Baratheons, the Starks, and the Tullys do not let them. They pursue. They hunt. Tywin's forces are cut down on the retreat, his banners trampled in the mud. And when the battle is done, he is left with nothing. Captured, bound in chains, the greatest warlord in Westeros brought low. But Tywin Lannister was never a man to accept defeat. In the depths of the night, a man moves through the halls of the Red Keep, cloaked, silent, his dagger coated in poison, his target, Robert Baratheon. He moves unseen, unheard. But another shadow waits for him. A figure steps from the darkness, old but unyielding. Sir Barristan Selmy. The assassin lunges, Selmy parries, a flash of steel, a single stroke, and the king lives another night. In the morning, Robert hears of the attempt. His answer is simple.
Tywin Lannister dies.
There is no trial, no last words. Tywin Lannister is dragged before the banners of the Stag and Wolf. He does not beg. He does not kneel. He only watches as Ned Stark draws his sword. And with one clean stroke, House Lannister falls. But not all of the lions are caged. Far to the west, Tyrion Lannister watches from the shadows. With his father dead, his brother a prisoner, and his house shattered, there is nothing left for him in the Westerlands. So he runs south, to Dorne, to the last place in Westeros that might take him in. And in the morning, as the banners of House Lannister burn, the Game of Thrones begins anew. In the aftermath, Stannis Baratheon watches his older brother from across the hall. A feast was organized to celebrate victory and to welcome home the heroes. Robert is laughing, drinking, celebrating victory. But Stannis sees what others do not. Weakness, hesitation, a man past his prime. Later, Stannis confronts him.
The Lannisters are broken. The war is nearly over. Name your heir, Robert.
Robert scowls, his patience wearing thin.
I still breathe, don't I?
For now. But what happens when you no longer do?
A moment of silence. Then Robert turns away.
I'll decide when the time comes. Until then, you'll do what I say.
Stannis doesn't argue. He never does. But the cold fury in his eyes says everything. He will not be passed over again. As the echoes of war begin to fade, Robert does something no one expected. He summons his bastards. One by one, they are brought before him, dozens of them, the scattered remnants of his bloodline. At first, it's a drunken curiosity. But then he sees Gendry, a boy built like a bull, the same black hair, the same fierce, defiant stare. Robert studies him, and in that moment, he sees himself.
You can swing a hammer, boy.
Better than most.
Robert nods. He calls for a sword. Gendry kneels. And before the eyes of the court, Robert Baratheon knights his own bastard.
Rise, Sir Gendry Waters.
For the first time, Robert is thinking of legacy, and his enemies are taking notice. In the shadows of Highgarden, whispers take root. Renly Baratheon watches, waits, calculates. Robert is a warrior, not a ruler. Stannis is strong, but unloved. And Renly, he has charm, ambition, and the Reach at his back. He will not be forgotten. He will not wait. The game is changing. The Lions have fallen, Jaime in chains, Tywin dead. But one Lannister remains. Tyrion vanishes into the night, slipping through hidden tunnels, boarding a ship bound south. His destination? Dorne. There, under Prince Doran's watchful eye, he won't beg for mercy. He will bargain. The war is over. The game is just beginning. The war has been fought. The victors stand tall. But in Westeros, peace is just the illusion before the next storm. Who will rise next? Who will fall? And what unseen moves are already in play? If you want to see what happens next, subscribe now and join us as we unravel the next chapter in this deadly game. Because in the world of ice and fire, the game is never truly over.